has been spent on the Russia probe, headed by former FBI Director Robert Mueller. 4 people have been charged thus far. Flynn, former Trump campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, Manafort's business associate, Rick Gates, and former Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos. It would be nice for them to be truthful, Flynn to be truthful, but again, what the Dems have been looking for in that 92% of Dems, they are in that poll, 92% factual Democrats trying to prove collusion. They were trying to prove since the defeat of Hillary Rodham Clinton against rival Donald Trump, trying to explain away how in the world it's Russia. It's not Russia that meddled in our election to get Donald Trump elected. It wasn't a deal that was made with any of those folks. And again, all the things that they had hoped to show these particulars with Deutsche Bank now, going through his bank records, thinking that there's got to be some kind of dealings, there's so many promises that were made with Kushner and with the Trump organization, with money and buildings and all of this, trying to figure out something. What do they owe Russia? Why is Russia? It's not uncommon for diplomats, it's not uncommon for politicians or presidential hopefuls to actually speak with people from Russia or from other countries. And it's amazing. Nobody's questioning on the left the dealings with Hillary Rodham Clinton with her whole reset, or all the money that she actually received with her husband for speaking in Russia multiple times. Why did they do that for him? What were the promises there? Interesting. It's they put it on the right. Oh, it's all the right that's colluding. Well, what about the collusion, supposed collusion that happened there? If anybody colluded, it's the left. With shady dealings, Barack Obama with Vladimir, whatever the heck that off-mic comment was when Barack was in office, saying that everything would be different, he would have more unilateral, anonymity to do all the things that whatever Vladimir wanted. God knows what that was. We have no idea, but it was off-mic. Remember the off-mic comments? That he knew he was going to be reelected and that he was going to be able to do more. Yeah. You can see how well the Russian reset went. Thank you very much. It's so bizarre. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday hailed President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, move the U.S. Embassy to the city as an historic landmark. In a speech in Washington, Trump said that his announcement marked the beginning of a new approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Netanyahu, in a pre-recorded video message, said that any peace deal with the Palestinians must include Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and he urged other countries to follow the U.S. lead by also moving their embassies to the city. I think it's going to happen. Little by little, it's going to happen, and as more countries get on board with the deal, which has been promised by Barack Obama, by the way, he just didn't follow through. This is one and other presidencies, but Clinton, Jefferson Clinton, Bush, W. promised. Many people made promises, but this didn't make good on him. In word, but nothing with deed. Well, he followed through. Campaign promise, by the way. I know it's so unusual for so many promises to actually come to fruition. And that's what's really pissing off a lot of the left. Because guess what? Very few accomplishments, if any accomplishments, during Barack Obama's tenure. I've said this many times. I have no damn idea what they're going to put on the wall at the Barack Obama or the Barack Hussein Obama Library in Chicago when they open it. Seriously, achievements. What? What did you do for 8 years and piss your presidency away on liberal ideology, destroying our country, weakening our country? What did you do? What did you do to improve the lives of Americans as the president of the United States? Seriously, can anybody answer that? This guy is a winner. We have a champion. And remember, Donald Trump said, I'm going to be your champion. I see a winner in the White House. I'm sorry for anybody that worshipped Barack Obama as being your savior, but he wasn't mine. I understood that it was a highlight for minorities, and they revered his existence of being there and how symbolic that was and how important that was. And I recognize that, and I get that, and I appreciate it. To the core of me, I do. I get it, how meaningful it was and how needed it was because of how races have treated each other through the years. But when it came to policies, there really was not any achievements. Just look at the crowning achievement that he thought, Obamacare. It didn't work. It didn't work. It imploded all over the place. Things he got involved with, the Solyndra, with solar power, spending multiple millions of dollars. The company's out of business. He made it sound like all of us would be riding around in solar vehicles and solar planes. Imploded. These are all great ideas that a lot of the left has, ideas. But they've been very costly and unrealistic. And meanwhile, they tell us how many the ice sheets are melting. Meanwhile, NASA has got new pictures showing how the ice sheets are actually at an all-time high. And how it's strengthening out there in the Antarctic, and how the atmosphere is not as bad as they once thought. If Al Gore is telling you the story, Miami would have been underwater, because when the first movie he talked about, Miami was underwater. That most of Florida right now underwater, his predictions, and then his scientists that he had, that all of Florida was underwater because of the sea rising levels. Ladies and gentlemen, if the Antarctic was melting at the rate they said, New York City would be underwater. Philadelphia would be underwater. It would be, but it's not. Okay? Don't get too excited. The Earth has gone through changes, will go through changes, and will continually go through changes. It's been that way for billions of years. Billions of years, folks. Just remember that. The planet's been chugging along. And with more wildfires, by the way, according to scientists, that clogged up the atmosphere much more than anything that's going on right now on the planet. What do they say? Knowledge is power. Yeah, mixed with common sense, man, it is like a bomb of reality. But it's good stuff. People have to hear this. People need to hear it. By the way, the first hour, we had Al Franken on. He was pretty much giving his goodbye speech on Capitol Hill. He's resigned. The next week or two, he'll be stepping down, but officially gave his resignation and pretty much painting all the achievements that he was such a great senator for his peeps in Minnesota. But very shameful, led by these mounting allegations of sexual misconduct and rolling all through Capitol Hill, that so many Democrats finally just got together and said, enough's enough. We got to get you out of here. Franken, the former comedian who made his name on Saturday Night Live, scheduled an announcement for today. In case you didn't get the news, the topic was specified, but Democratic senators said they expected their liberal colleague to resign. Enough is enough, said Kristen Gillibrand of New York. We need to draw a line in the sand and say none of it's okay, none of it's acceptable, and we as elected leaders should absolutely be held to a higher standard. Senator Kristen Gillibrand. Gillibrand was the first to call for Franken's resignation, by the way. I'm shocked and appalled by Senator Franken's behavior, said Senator Patty Murray of Washington State. It's clear to me that this has been a very deepful and harmful, persistent problem and a clear pattern over a long period of time. It's time for him to step aside. And late in the day, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York added his voice. He says, I consider Senator Franken a dear friend and greatly respect his accomplishments, but he has a higher obligation to his constituents and the Senate, and he should step down immediately. Schumer called Franken shortly after the latest allegations, told him he needed to resign, said a Democratic familiar friend with what was going on. Schumer met later in his apartment with Franken and Franken's wife, Franny, and repeated that message and did the same in additional talks with the senator throughout the day, said the Democrat who spoke on condition of anonymity to describe private conversations. So finally, but trust me, the Dems are ramping up now for a fight in Alabama, because now, with their guns blazed, with ammunition now as fodder, they're going to be able to attack Roy Moore. And if anybody thought that that's exactly what their motive was, and that all of these allegations and what they are heinous, well, now they're going to be pulling out more women. And again, if there's some truth to it, let it come out. Al Franken, clearly, there were pictures of him groping, pictures of him doing things, audio that's come out, more that will surface with Al Franken to confirm, more allegations, more witnesses coming out. If anybody else is out there, the Inquirer magazine or whatever tabloid magazine or news network that's trying to scurry up stories, they're going to pay the top dollar for others to come out of the woodwork to tell their story. Trust me. This is going to be a fight to the end, and then they're going to try to, whatever they possibly can, to throw this all back on Donald Trump and show that we're a party of sexual deviants. They've taken care of theirs, but we haven't cleared the house. That's why he said it would have been a better thing to have a stand-in, write-in candidate in Alabama than let Roy Moore. I saw the writing on the wall. Many other smart people did. They just didn't believe that there was going to be this Al Franken deal. And another. It's just hit after hit after hit. Pandora's box, baby. Sex is like the big thing here. Well, you do bad things, your past will catch up with you. And for anybody that's ever done questionable things, that there's people walking around with stories to tell, they got to be a little fearful. They got to be a little concerned. And I got to say this again. Bill O'Reilly, it keeps on commenting about these people like Roy Moore, Charlie Rose, Brian Williams. I think there's actually somebody said that there's some things on Brian Williams besides his phony news that he was purporting that he was shot at or whatever by the enemy. But anyway, commenting as an authority on the indecency and all that, and it's like he's coming to the defense of these people because it's just allegations. There was a lot more that got him canned from Fox News Channel. He's doing some stuff for Newsmax. I like Newsmax. I think it's great, but the editorial decision-making over at Newsmax to allow Bill O'Reilly to comment about any of this, I think is poor judgment. Because what it does is it turns away women and conservatives that don't think that this behavior is acceptable. And if there's an inkling that somebody actually believes that somebody actually was mistreated, it kind of just puts a license to it. And this is not the brand of conservatism that anybody needs. He should concentrate on other stories, in my opinion. And it would be better for Bill O'Reilly. It's as if he's ignoring, and maybe that's his strategy, on anything that he was ever accused of, because they were just allegations. And why did Fox News Channel pay millions of dollars to multiple women over the years? Why? Can anybody tell me that? He can't answer it. I mean, there's a reason why these people get canned, folks. There's a reason why he was the top grossing head on Fox News with the number one program for many years, 15, 20 years there doing The Factor. Think about it. Just think about it for a second, even if you're a Riley fan, which I was. But I'm just calling it as it is. There is a reason. Now, should people be forgiven? Absolutely. But if you don't apologize for any of it,